Good morning, YouTube. How are you guys doing? It is July 4th. I would say happy 4th of July, but I don't really celebrate 4th of July. I don't see the point in celebrating 4th of July due to my own personal reasons. Actually, I just wanted to do a short video because I haven't done a video in a while. I actually have been going through some things with myself, friends, family, and I'm at that point in my life, I guess. It's like these type of things happen. I don't know. Never really been this age before. Never really been, in this type of situation before. But I just wanted to check in with everyone. Alright, so I wanted to talk about a situation that a really close friend of mine is going through. And if I cry, just please I'm just letting you know that I am a very emotional person when it comes to people that hit home for me. People that I've been with, they always say like the nicest people get hurt the hardest. And I had to actually discuss this with her before I actually just made this video. I mean, I'm not gonna say no names or anything, but just because we have mutual friends and stuff, I'm just gonna keep the story very general. We'll try to. But my friend, she's married as well. I try not to hang out with people that are not married because I remember when I got married, the number one, I wouldn't say rule, but it was a suggestion that you hang out with people of equal status. And I always held that, I guess you can say, in the front of my mind anytime I made friends and etc. So I have a friend. She's been married for roughly about maybe 7-8 years, give or take, depending on when she decides to. You know how it's one when we be like, oh, we've been married for 20 years, and they only really been married for like 18, but they count them two other years for whatever reason. But she's been married and she's been going through it, and she calls me frequently and she tells me like everything that her husband has put her through, from cheating to lying and just the verbal abuse, and it's just really tough because when you come from the type of background that I come from, I'm not the one to scream and shout divorce. I'm usually the one to stick and say, hey, pray about it, but sometimes there comes a time where you just really question everything. Prayer, you question the people around you, you start questioning yourself. I mean, I know it's normal. It's it's a part of growing, I guess, or going through the motions. But her husband is very, very, very stuck on cultural beings. And she is American, and her husband is from a different country or whatever. But it does matter because their morals are different from ours. Like, when you're born in America and you're like 5,000 generations down, you kind of lose that cultural background unless you have people that actually, are into their culture. Nowadays, it's kind of difficult to even, I don't know, whatever. But he's just like really, really bringing her down, her spirit, and so I can only advise her to pray about it, before she makes any decisions, and he's just like, at first it was like, oh my God, he would do everything for her, like everything. She didn't have to lift a finger. When I say this guy did everything for her, he just literally like was a Prince Charming. Like, I would call her and he would answer her phone like, oh, you have to call her back because she's taking a nap or she's sleeping. Or hell, I feel like if he could, he would probably breathe for her. Well, that was the case. And it was genuine love, you know. But at some point in their relationship, there came a twist and a turn. And like I explained to her, I said, people do change. But sometimes when you're dealing with a weak-minded man or individual, they're easily changed and they're easily, coerced into doing things, even if they don't want to do it. I mean, and I believe strongly that, that's the case here, because there's no man that will treat you like a queen one day and then within a blink of an eye you're the devil or you're the enemy. And when I say this girl is beyond the most sweetest person I know, very opening and under, like, very heart, like her heart is just, she wears a heart on her sleeve. And I just, you can't really understand why someone would treat someone that way when you're supposed to love this person. And she calls me and she tells me little things. And because I have a foreign background, she looks to me, because her husband is foreign. She looks to me for what do you call it? Like, I guess, guidance and advice about certain things, and as far as cultural beings and how is it like with this or how is it with that. And all I can say is that sometimes it may not even be what the picture, like what was painted. Sometimes people are very easily, very, very easily, when I say can have their mind twisted. And you don't even have to say it direct. Like, some people know how to talk to people to screw their whole mind up. And then you become open and subject to all this confusion. And it's sad to say that, because that goes a long way, when someone is in a union. And I pray to God that someone pays attention to this, because when you're in a union and you're in a union under God, there is a spiritual battle that each and every one of you would encounter at some point in time. No marriage is a walk in the park. Every marriage will have its issues, like, and it's up to you and your individual spouse or whatever. It's up to you guys to decide how you guys are going to figure things out. And it's tough. It's not easy, especially because 9 out of 10, you ain't never been married before, like me. Never been married before. My first marriage was I was 21, 22 when I first got married, and it's been tough. There has been so much stuff, to so many things that you really just don't have answers to. You may never have answers to. But for me, I pray a lot. And lately I've just been praying for my friend, and I've been praying for clarity on her part, because she's really going through it, and nobody knows, because she smiles all the time. And I look at her and I smile, because you don't know what people are going through. You don't know people's mindset. And that's what irritates me the most, is because men tend to play games. They tend to grab hold of someone, not all, but majority, and I'm not even gonna say men, I'm gonna say boys that are confused, that was raised by clueless people. Because if you were raised correctly, you would know how to treat someone according to, and but some dudes tend to grab a hold of women, and they tend to twist and turn just to get reactions. They tend to test, like women test. We test our men. There's no lie. Men tend to test women, but the way they test women is not okay. Like you don't go cheat on your spouse and come back and say, oh, that was just a test to see if you was gonna stay. Have you lost your monkey mind? Like, I don't test you in that way. I am gonna test you to see, like, oh, I'm gonna leave this spoon on the sink dirty as heck, and I'm gonna see if you're gonna wash it. That's how I'm gonna test you. Innocent. Nobody got hurt. No one. But when you have a guy that wants to intentionally hurt you and intentionally pull you down, you have to realize this is a toxic relationship. And coming from not even just being Christian in general, but having faith. When is that faith enough? Because for a fact that this isn't healthy, to be going through this type of stuff. It's not healthy, and it puts a restraint on a lot of things. But when you're praying and you're praying and you're praying, and you know that there's going to be a breakthrough, but then there's that flesh, that living in the sight, not the sight, living in the now, where you just see that this is a mess. And that's where she's at now. She just sees that everything is a mess from her husband's point, her in-laws, and how she can't really trust anybody. She doesn't have her mother. She doesn't have her mother around right now. But it's like she can't really talk to anyone about it because she doesn't really have anyone to talk to. And so she vents to me a lot. And I don't really know what to say besides pray, because I feel like I'm only alive today in good health due to my mother's and my grandmother's prayers. I feel like a lot of us are alive today due to our mothers and grandmothers' prayers, our fathers too. But it's just really tough when you have things like this that you don't have to go through. You don't. It's really unnecessary for anyone to have to go through this type of verbal abuse, mental abuse, because you be sitting here thinking like, now I know back then when I asked you something and you said this, was that really what you meant, or did you really mean this? It have you questioning your whole being, especially there for that person. So I prayed with her and I prayed for her, and it's a walk, it's a really tough walk being married now, especially now because it's so much social media's out there. There's so much outlets. It's everything, trust me, is at your fingertips. Technology is something, and you cheat now, you gonna get caught up. You definitely gonna get caught up. Either way, I don't care how good of a cheater you think you are. Trust and believe. Your girl know what's going on, And I don't necessarily even think that her husband is cheating on her. I think her husband is very confused, because he's a mother's boy. He listens to his mama, and whatever his mama say, go. If his mama say jump off of a bridge, guess and believe he gonna jump right then, no questions asked. And that's what's sad, because when you live your life through someone else's expectations, you would never, ever be happy. When I say never be happy, you'll be always trying to find ways to make this person happy. And before you know it, you're old and raggedy, dying and this person is dead and gone and you have never even lived your life. And I can't stress that enough of how you have to, I don't know why I sound like I was about to sing never. No, but anyways, but you have to focus on yourself. That's my advice for young women now. Looking back on all the things that I've been through, being married so young, is you have to take time out for yourself, because at any given moment, things can change, and you don't want to look up and say, hey, I've been married to this person for 15 years and I supported them through all that they've done, and then they up and leave, and now you're like, those 15 years I've done nothing for myself. I'm still the same woman. Well, you're not the same woman, you're a different woman than you were back then, but you feel like you have accomplished nothing for yourself. And if you feel that way in a marriage, then you should be able to, open up to your partner and say, hey, I kind of feel like this whole time I've been riding for you and I don't have the same support from you to me, and I really want to focus on self-growth. Because if you can't grow yourself, how can you expect to grow anyone else? Grow old with someone. Like, when I remember when I first met my husband, it wasn't a love at first sight. We grew together. Like, we had nothing. We started with nothing, and then we ended up with what I thought was everything, until, life happens. Sometimes things just happen, and it's uncontrollable. I'm not saying that I don't want for anything. I don't. I'm very established on my own, and I know that for a fact that if God sees fit for anything other than what his, I don't think, honestly, I don't even know what I was about to say, but I know it wasn't going to make sense anyway, so we're going to just scratch that last part there. But I know that God, everything happens for a reason. You cross paths with people for a reason. They say people in your life for a reason or a season. And I know that for my friend, that I think if you hold out just a little bit longer, your prayers will be answered. And it's tough though. It's real tough. It's not going to be easy. And then that's when you question yourself, like, is this a test for myself? Do I give up? Do I keep fighting? Even though I know that mentally I cannot control or handle this situation. But God is not going to put you in a situation that you cannot handle. He's not going to give you something that is going to kill you. He definitely will not do that. But you don't, as a person living in this world, you can't help but to question everything. I'm definitely going to question something that I don't see versus something that I see. And I think that's where we have to step outside the box and just, continue to focus on the right things, and eventually things will turn around. And that's about it. This is just a random video. Let me know what you think below. I hope everyone have a good day. I do have to work today, unfortunately, but I just dropped this video because I haven't really been able to post videos because there's been so much going on. Like I said, right now I'm about to actually get on a prayer call with my friend to check on her and see how she's doing. And I just continue to pray, but I gotta ask all my prayer warriors out there to pray for her, pray for me, pray for myself, pray for my family. Just pray for us. We all need prayer. I don't care where you from, who you believe in. We all need somebody to pray for us. And with that being said, everyone have a good day. Have a good Thursday. It is definitely early in the morning, so the sun's not out yet. But I hope everyone has a very productive day and enjoy the food that everyone's going to be cooking today. Peace out in the Middle East, and I will catch you guys later.